It's time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
All right, 49ers fans, welcome to another episode of, the 7-0 49ers Rush. I don't think I could get tired of just bringing that up. We got to keep talking about it because it's very, very special. The first time since 1990 that the 49ers have been 7-0. It is a great time to be a 49ers fan, and you got to love all the attention that's finally starting to come the 49ers way, which you could take it or leave it, the national media stuff, whatever. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be breaking down the offense. We are going to be going over new NFL ranks for lots of different statistical categories, top 5, bottom 5 players just on the offensive side. We've got a lot of stuff to get into, updating our new Vegas lines going into the early game. This is a busy week. 49ers have a short week, but so do our opponents. We're playing against our division rival, the Arizona Cardinals, which we're going to have a scouting report episode on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that one. We are still reflecting a little bit on breaking down the game the past week. So that is what we are going to be doing. And again, particularly on the offensive side, now if you have some questions, please don't hesitate to throw those out there. But I want to spend some time just breaking down exactly what took place. And here's the thing. We're going to get into top 5 players and all that, but just listen to the offensive drives, okay? So I'm just going to recap the 15 offensive drives that we had start to finish, okay, to get started. This is the 49ers versus the Panthers offensive recap episode. Here we go. Opening drive, 11 plays, 75 yards, touchdown pass to Emmanuel Sanders. Great start. We go out. Interception on the very first play, stupid undercut pass, and then it's just like, oh man, thought we were going to run away with this one. It was feeling really, really good. This is what we do. We make mistakes, right? How do we respond to that from an offensive side? 6 plays, 75 yards, Tevin Coleman, huge touchdown run, 2 great plays by Kittle, and the Kittle touchdown called back. So we've already scored 3 touchdowns. We only got credit for 2. Kittle continues to get his touchdowns called back for some reason every single freaking game, it seems like. How do we respond after that? Touchdown pass to Tevin Coleman, 3 plays, 27 yards. Then we punt. Now, it was a 7-play drive, but School got beat for a sack, and that kind of pushed us back, whatever, so we punted it. But even though it was a negative drive, we downed it inside their 10. Okay, so that's great. 6th drive, touchdown run by Coleman. 4 plays, 67 yards. That's a huge, huge drive right there. 7th drive, we just kind of ran 2 plays right before halftime. That's where Breida got hurt as well, which was kind of frustrating. But then it's halftime, so we had 7 first-half drives. One of them was kind of negated by just time, but 1 touchdown drive, 2 touchdown drives, 3 touchdown drives, 4 touchdown drives in the first half. You've got to be excited for that. 28 points, but we're not done. We come out halftime, doesn't go very well. We get a safety. School gets beat on an inside move by Bruce Irving, 1-on-1, 2 plays, -2 yards. That's a bummer. Then we come back and respond. 8 plays, 75 yards. Deebo Samuel end around for a touchdown. Can't wait to see the coaching film on that. That comes out Tuesday. Really excited to see just how that all worked out from the all-22 perspective and how it adjusted with the safeties and corners and just all across the board. Kyle Shanahan special. Never even seen that play before, so that was pretty fun. 10th drive, we go 3 and out. We punt, but even though it's a punt, our punter, Mitch Wisnowski, downs it inside the 5, which is awesome. So great job there. 11th drive, Tevin Coleman touchdown, 3 plays, 10 yards. That's after the Bosa interception. Then 12th drive, field goal, 3 plays. That was after the Bosa. The previous one was after Sherman. 13th, we punt. 14th, touchdown run by Mostert. We can't stop him. 1 play, 41 yards. That guy's just crazy. Then we nil it out. So if you want a snapshot of just how great this offensive performance was as a whole, I think that the drive summary is the way to go. Now, if we step back just from this game and we pay attention to what this offense has been able to put up all year round. Here's the great thing. Let's go through some NFL ranks. Again, there's 32 teams. How does the 49ers offense compare to everybody else? It turns out amazingly well. We have the third most points scored with 207, and consider a lot of the teams, the two teams ahead of us, they've already had a bye week. So if you look at points per game, it's going to be up there for sure, but 207 points scored. Yards, 6th in the NFL in total yards. Now, turnovers is a problem. If you want to be the doom and gloom 49ers fan that's just like, man, why do we always keep turning the ball over, whatever, this is where you need to focus. So all my people that are just mad and you need to be pissed off at the world, here you go. We got something for you. See, the 49ers, not only are we going to beat everybody that we played so far out of 7 games, we're going to allow our critics to have something to focus on, and that's turnovers. We have 12 total turnovers, 12 interceptions, 5 fumbles lost, and so that's going to rank us 21st in the NFL. So for people saying, man, how do we improve? What do we need to work on? Or what's our flaw? It's this. And we saw it with the Jimmy Garoppolo interception on first down on an undercut route. This is something that needs to be addressed. If we keep moving, 6th most first downs. We are 2nd fewest passing attempts in the league. Kyle Shanahan has proven how he wants to win. We want to run the ball. We have the most rushing attempts in the NFL. We want to be efficient at that. We have the 2nd most yards, the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL. So what we want to do is limit the amount of passes we have, control the ball by running the ball, long sustained drives, which, man, it's pretty impressive the amount of third down conversions Jimmy Garoppolo has managed. And you bring in this guy, Emmanuel Sanders, that goes 4 catches. He gets 3 first downs and a touchdown. And pretty special stuff right there. Now, net yards per passing attempt, we are 8th. We're just not throwing the ball a lot. When we do throw the ball, very, very efficient. And just to hold these things in perspective a little bit, we are averaging 7.2 yards per pass attempt. We are only giving up 3.9 yards per passing attempt. Again, when we throw it 7.2 yards, even if it's not caught, that's just per attempt. When they throw it, 3.9. Huge advantage. First downs, we have 80 first downs. We've allowed 45. We're almost doubling up the opponents on first downs. That's long drives. That's wearing their defense out. That's allowing our defense to rest. It's complementary football on both sides. They are all working together. It's pretty special. Really, really special. And here's another thing. One of those hidden stats which helps the offense out even more. We lead the NFL in average starting field position. We are starting to get with the ball at the 35-yard line, whereas usually they're 27 yards. So here's what I'm going to say. We're not even great in giving them field position. We're bottom 10 in that one. But the fact that we lead the NFL, and this all has to do with special teams, and it has to do with defense. That's not an offensive stat necessarily, because our defense is turning the ball over so much, so many 3-and-outs, that we're starting the ball with a free first down. And then you add to the fact that we are one of the top teams for first downs in the league, it just continues to expand. And it gets a lot of stuff going. So you've got to be pretty pumped just about how things look for the 49ers on an offensive standpoint. Kyle Shanahan is Kyle Shanahan. He's the freaking man. The way in which he creates all these plays, which I'm really excited to do my breakdown this week. I think we're going to be able to tell a lot more stuff about this week than last week. The Washington game was, yuck. It was awful. I hated watching that film. But this week is going to be a lot of fun, and I really want to see how he confuses Kuechly, because I think that's going to kind of be key. Now, let's get to a couple questions just real quick from Casey. And first off, just want to say thanks for everybody that's tuning in. This is going to be a fun week. We've got an episode every day, so hope you get used to me. Do you think the 49ers will get a first-round bye? Man, we're still a little too early for that. Yes, I understand we have the best record in the NFC, and that is great. You want to see that continue. I think there's a strong possibility they can get a first-round bye. Now, all the Super Bowl talk and all that kind of stuff, I get it, and it should be there for a team that's 7-0. However, there's a lot of teams that are pretty damn good in the NFC. Are we in that conversation? We sure as hell be. We sure as hell better be. I think eventually we can get there, but this stretch down the road, it gets rough. Can we win every game? Yeah, it's actually a possibility with this defense and running game. But we still got Seattle twice. We still got to play the Packers. We still have to travel to Baltimore. We still have to travel to New Orleans. We still got to play the Rams again. So that's a playoff schedule. We're going to see what happens here, but that first Seattle game is going to be key. That Green Bay game is going to be key because, again, if you want that first round bye, the two prominent players are the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints. We play them both. So you're going through a stretch where you're playing, Russell Wilson twice, you're playing Aaron Rodgers, you're playing Lamar Jackson, and you're playing against Drew Brees. So we're going to see exactly how we're going to know what this team is. Can it continue to improve? Yes. Is it going to improve? I think it is, especially offensively, because we're getting a lot of guys back. But here's the thing. We're going to know before the playoffs start exactly who we are. And yes, we are a playoff team. And never in the history of the NFL has a team gone 7-0 and not made the playoffs. We're going to be in the playoffs. But I want that first round pick. And more importantly than the first round bye, sorry about that, is home field advantage because you don't want to travel to Lambeau in the winter, and you sure as hell, I'd rather go to Lambeau Field and play at Green Bay than going down to the Saints. You do not want to travel to the Superdome in an NFC championship or divisional round playoff game. You don't want to do that. We're going to travel to the Saints on December 8th, but you do not want to go. I'd rather play in Lambeau. That place is crazy. I've been to a game there. It's bananas. It's just a different environment. So take that for what you want, but it's what it is. Any updates on Staley, McGlinchey, Juice? So a couple different things that we've got going forward, and I'll say this. With it being a short week, you've got to kind of be careful of all of the practice reports that are coming out because everybody's going to come off as limited, okay? Because you don't want to hit. You're not hitting this week, which you don't usually hit anyway, but you're scaling back 2 different days of practice, and you're just trying to get your players better. So a couple different updates from the 49ers. First off, Marquise Goodwin was back with the team and is expected to practice this week. He should be playing. The personal issue that took place, and just wish him and his family the best. Really apologize for what happened just over the past few years for that guy. Marquise Goodwin's been a stand-up human and teammate and just has been wonderful. So I only want the best things for him. Raheem Mostert was limited. He's going to be just fine. He's probably going to be the backup running back behind Tevin Coleman. Now, Matt Breida, whose ankle issue has happened over and over again, he was limited today, which is great news. So, Kyle Shanahan said, which you have to take with a grain of salt, Breida wanted to go back in, and if it was a playoff game or a closer game, we would have stepped in. But there's a chance Breida's going to play on Thursday. So different stuff to look forward to for sure. Now, as far as the big 3 guys, Staley, McGlinchey, Juice, I think Staley returns this week. I really, really do, and it's right in time because he's going to be going against one of the other Defensive Player of the Year candidates. You've got to say what Chandler Jones has been amazing. He's played wonderful. I think he's got 8 or 9 sacks. He's up there big time, so we need somebody to go against him. And is that going to determine the outcome of the game? Absolutely not. We continue to run the ball with backup tackles, not even backup tackles, 3rd and 4th string tackles, but pretty excited to get him back. Once we get him back, we'll move School over to the right side. Daniel Brunskill will be the swing tackle, and so we're gonna see what's up with that. So hopefully we get Staley back this week, and then McGlinchey and Juice probably 2 to 3 weeks out on both those guys. Okay. All right, what's Kyle and Saleh going to do about Witherspoon and Mosley? That's got to be a tough decision. I think that we've seen this precedent set already with the coaching staff. We saw it with DJ Jones. So DJ Jones had a rough game, gets injured, sits out. Solomon Thomas comes in, gets the start. Once DJ Jones came back and was healthy and was able to practice fully, he got the start right off the bat. They seem to want to maintain continuity. Now, Solomon Thomas did get more snaps this week than we expected. We'll talk about that tomorrow, but Witherspoon's going to be the guy. So once he comes back, he is going to be the starter. Now, worst case, I don't even think worst case, best case for Mosley is they will rotate some series. Maybe 2 series for Witherspoon, 1 for Mosley, just trying to keep everybody safe. But usually in the secondary, Saleh likes to keep his secondary out there without changing them around. It's a possibility. Mosley's definitely earned some playing time. You could argue he played better than Witherspoon, which is crazy because Witherspoon was a top 5 corner before he got injured. Mosley has been playing that well. I think he's given up like 2 catches in 3 games, and he's guarded people like Odell Beckham Jr. and DJ Moore, like Terry McLaurin. Like, he's been playing against some of the better players in the NFL and just shutting everybody out. So anyway, it's what it is, but I do think that Witherspoon's going to be the guy there. Anyway, Derek, yeah, congrats to you, Derek. Nice day to have Tevin Coleman on my fantasy football team, along with the Niners defense, Kittle, Sanders, and Gold. Man, nice to be a Niners homer. You're not lying. And, you know, we go back to those stats with how many points the 49ers are putting up. We're 3rd in the NFL in points scored. That is going to translate well to fantasy, so congratulations on that one, man. A couple more questions before I jump back into top 5 and bottom 5. Hey, appreciate you for your service. I'm seeing a lot of different comments in here, and here's the deal. We've got a thing working on right now with the NinersRush.com where one of our writers is going to be bringing up basically an international type support system for Niners fans. I cannot tell you how many comments I get, and I freaking love them, whether it's DM messages on Twitter or emails or whatever. Hey, John, I'm a huge fan from Sweden. Hey, John, I'm a huge fan from Australia. Love the 49ers. I wake up and I have to listen at 2 in the morning because of the time change, and so I get to listen to your podcast to catch it. Like, it's amazing. The 49ers faithful is special. There's a lot of fan bases out there that have huge support. I'm not trying to say we're special in that regard, but there's something different. Faithful is what we are. Are there going to be new bandwagon fans and all this kind of? Yes, it's what goes with the territory, and you got to be happy for that. Don't be the one that's putting down new fans. Bring them in and teach them what it means to be a 49ers fan and why we are different than Patriots fans, why we are different than Seahawks fans. And the difference is this: 1, we're a family. 2, we don't go anywhere when things go bad. Anyway, I don't want to jump too much into other people, but thank you so much for your service. Sergio, appreciate it. All you people anybody that served in any capacity, just want to say really do appreciate it. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Batman, yes or no? For those of you that listen live, we're going to be going live on Halloween, and so I got a Batman costume. It might make an appearance. I don't think I can do the full 2.5 hour broadcast, which is happening, by the way, this week. More details coming soon. Hey, what's up, BD Peacock? Appreciate it. Like the backdrop. Big fan. Want to give a shout out to, I've been a guest on his show as well, Locked On 49ers. If you're looking for great 49ers content, make sure you check out Locked On 49ers. He does a hell of a job. I listen daily over there as well. We've got a lot of different people that put up some great content. And BD Peacock jumping in the comments. Much appreciated, sir. So anyway, Batman is going to be making an appearance, hopefully. I'll have the costume set up. But I don't think I could go for the full 2.5 hour broadcast breaking down the game and then the reaction show. Might be a little much, but details to be out very, very soon, hopefully later tonight. Meeting with the executives today to finish everything up and get the codes ready and all that stuff. So stay tuned. Here's where it's going to be. On my Twitter feed, JL_Chapman is where it's going to be announced with all the information. I'll update you on the podcast tomorrow with final details. You'll be good to go. So here we go. A couple other things, just more questions. Do you think Beathard is being shopped before the deadline? 100%. The rumors out there for CJ are a 6th-round pick. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are not budging on their price. They want it to be higher. Will they get that? I don't know. Personally, what I would like to do in a dream situation is package CJ Beathard in a 5th and try to get a 4th or a 3rd bumped up. The 3rd is Dream World. That would be amazing. But CJ and perhaps 2 5ths for a third-round pick, something like that. I think that's kind of what it's going to have to be. Wouldn't be shocked either if a wide receiver was shopped. There were the rumors about Marquise Goodwin, but I could see some of the younger guys being shopped in that as well. Because, again, we're getting two more guys back that are going to be on top of the depth chart whenever they come back, and Trent Taylor and Jalen Hurd. I think those guys are going to play a role. So what do you do with guys like Richie James, Kendrick Bourne, Marquise Goodwin, guys like that? I wouldn't be shocked. And also defensive line. So curious to see what's going to happen there. Now, let's jump over now to grades. Everybody likes grades or hates grades. You're somewhere in between. These are Pro Football Focus numbers. They just came out about an hour and a half ago. Let's talk about the top 5 and bottom 5 offensive players against the Panthers. It's just one game in particular, okay? No shocker, George Kittle, number 1 overall player, 92.7. He has been the number 1 player in 4 out of 7 games for the 49ers, continues to be the highest rated player in the entire NFL on Pro Football Focus. He is unbelievable. And if he didn't get that damn touchdown called back, thank you, Steve. So frustrating. This guy deserves more touchdowns, and I think he's not getting the respect he deserves. It's only a matter of time. But anyway, Laken Tomlinson comes in number 2. What's up with a 90.4? He had a hell of a game. He really, really did. Played all 66 snaps on the offensive side, and he was great in the run game. And we'll get into the running angles and the holes that they hit. We ran the ball 12 times through each A-gap. We just ran the ball up the middle. You go back and you look at those highlights on the running game, they're just straight up the middle. And a lot of those have to do with Laken Tomlinson, who played great. The third best player on offense, Tevin Coleman, with the 79.0 grade. Played wonderful. His score should have been higher, but he didn't do very well in the passing game on his routes, and he gave up a couple blocks whenever he was run blocking on the end arounds and sweeps and all that kind of stuff. Mike Pearson got a 73.7, and Ben Garland, who came in for 10 snaps at the end, got a 72.1. We are developing depth across the offensive line. Can you believe that? Man, who would have guessed that would be a thing? Jimmy Garoppolo came in 7th with a 70.9. That interception was huge. Now let's go to the other side. A lot of these players that perhaps did bad or poorly, they got bad grades, and perhaps rightfully so, but notice the grades. The grades are inching up from the bottom, okay? The percentages, if you pay attention to the show week in and week out, what we're starting to see is the bottom's being pulled up. And so everything is stepping up, which is great news. Worst rated player, Matt Breida, comes in with a 49.1 grade, which again, 49.1 is not good. But the fact that was our worst player on offense should tell you something. Jeff Wilson Jr., second worst, even though he only got 3 total snaps with a 51.1. Richie James got 15 snaps at the wide receiver position, so he saw an uptick there. He didn't really make it translate. 55 grade. Roz Dwelly, 34 snaps, his most snaps that he's had this year. 55 grade. And Dante Pettis, yikes. His snaps went down. We wanted to know where those snaps would go for Emmanuel Sanders, right? Well, Emmanuel Sanders leads all the wide receivers in snaps with 53 out of 66. After that, Deebo Samuel, 45. Then Kendrick Bourne, then Dante Pettis. So Pettis lost some snaps, and I think that's going to kind of be this where you want him. You want him in that 20 to 30 snap range. That's appropriate for where he should be. So a lot to take away from there, but here's the thing. You put up 50 points. This is the most points in over 20 years that the 49ers have scored. This is huge. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. And so whenever you see these players that are doing what they're doing, you have to step back and say, why is all of this success happening? It's happening up front. It's happening with the scheme and the headset. And this team is special. Okay? Let's see here. We got a question here from Nick. Niners had a losing record versus the Panthers. Can we also change our losing history versus the Cardinals on Thursday? Man, you got to think it's trending in that direction. And Vegas, oh my goodness. Vegas seems to think so as well, Nick, and I do as well. So let's jump over now to our sponsor. This is a great segue. Thanks, Nick. He's might as well be the producer of the show. He does a hell of a job with questions. Really appreciate it. The Vegas lines for mybookie.ag are sponsors. Use promo code 49ers if you want to double your initial deposit. You should have already opened up an account with them. If you haven't, go do that now. You want to support the podcast, go have some fun. Bet $1 a game and have some fun with us because we've been doing well. Last week was rough, our worst week as far as betting goes all year. But that's okay. We've still posted a profit even during the bye week. We have won 7 weeks and we've lost 1. So take that for what you want. We're going to make some more money this week with our Bets of the Week episode on Wednesday. Now, the San Francisco 49ers are giving up 10 points. So we are minus 10 as far as the spread. The over-under is 44. So it's immediately, I went and checked a lot of the Vegas lines that were up with Caesars, and we were 7.5. We were giving up 7.5 points until the game ended. Now it's at 10. I don't think it's done. There's still a few different sites. MyBookie is the lowest, okay? So MyBookie has us at negative 10. There's some sites that are negative 11, negative 10.5 points. So if you're wanting to bet, this line's not staying. I told you that last week, and it didn't. It's going to move further. It's not going to stay at negative 10 points. It's going to go to negative 11. And I don't want to get into too much of a scouting report episode. That's Wednesday about the Cardinals. But they're struggling. They lost 3 running backs this week. They lost David Johnson. He's not going to be playing against the 49ers. Chase Edmonds got hurt with a hamstring. DJ Foster got put on IR, their third string. They just traded, and which was a pretty dumb trade, to get Kenyon Drake from Miami. He's going to be starting against us on Thursday with 2 days to practice. Now, the running back position, you can figure that out relatively well. Probably one of the easier playbooks to learn. But, man, I'm seeing this 10-point swing. I'm not scared of it. Really not scared of it. You want to bet the money line? It's minus 450. That means the 49ers just win straight up, which it's a big bet. It's a big pool that they're taking from you, but that is there. So we'll have to see what happens, but we will have some more bets of the week coming up. So please do not make sure that you listen to the future episodes because we're going to be breaking that down for you guys. Really excited about this game. Beyond winnable game. 8-0 is right there in the horizon. You just got to go get it. You got to go get it. Let's see here. Any guess how many games before Sanders will know our full playbook and start being used to his full potential? He got 50-plus snaps last week, and he looked great, but I think you're right. You're looking 2 to 3 weeks out. So once we get into, past the halfway stage in November, I think the second time that we play the Cardinals, I think that's when we're going to be ready. So again, if you look at just what our schedule is, right, we have the Cardinals this Thursday, then we have the mini bye week and play Monday night against the Seahawks, where we're going to have 11 days between this next game against the Cardinals on Halloween, and then we don't play until November 11th against the Seahawks. Then we play November 17th against the Cardinals again. So Cardinals, Seahawks, Cardinals, 3 division opponents. And here's what's special. When teams get this huge lead, right, we're 7-0, the idea of trap games and losing to these lesser opponents, hell no, because here's why. We've played one division opponent so far. Every single team in the NFL's chief goal is to win your division. So if these were games where we were going to start getting full of ourselves and start being like, hey, maybe we're special, hell no. We have 3 straight division opponents. So the Cardinals are on there twice. Doesn't matter. This is huge. This is key time. So super excited about what's coming up. And I do think that, that second game against the Cardinals, that's when Emmanuel Sanders will be full swing. He probably won't be full swing until next year, but it takes a while. The good thing is about a veteran is he's been in the system. He understands he's played for a lot of different things. So in his work ethic, we've seen what's happened. I mean, instant translation to that first series where he got an awesome first down and a touchdown off a tip pass. So we're going to see what happens there. Next question right here. When Trent Taylor returns, who will take a back seat? If we just look at the snaps, okay, if we just look at the snaps from the wide receiver position, so again, out of 66 total snaps, Emmanuel Sanders, his snaps at 53, they might go up. They're not changing. Deebo Samuel does not play that position. He got 45 out of 66. That stays the same. I think what you would like to see is for Trent Taylor to be that next cut right there. Kendrick Bourne got 30, Dante Pettis got 20, Richie James got 15. I think you want to see Trent Taylor in that 30 to 35 range, especially on third down. You can move Emmanuel Sanders outside, which he played both inside and outside. So if you get that, I think you'd be really happy with what's going on. So I think that kind of answers your question. Debo shouldn't lose snaps. Emmanuel Sanders shouldn't lose snaps. That's what it is. Ooh, this is a fun trade question from Jimmy. His initials are Jimmy G. I hope you are handsome as well, Jimmy. Taylor Gabriel for C.J. Beathard. Yeah, I'd do that trade in a second. Taylor Gabriel, the shifty kind of wide receiver, very similar, be very pro Kyle Shanahan guy. Don't know if he's ever played in a Kyle Shanahan system, which is problematic, but I'd take pretty much anything for CJ Beathard, to be honest with you. I like CJ a lot. I just don't think that we need him. No, it's what it is. All right, couple other questions before we jump off real quick. Do you see this as a trap game? Yeah, we kind of answered that one. I don't think so because it's a divisional game. We've only played one divisional game. And so because of that, it's going to be really hard to take this one lightly. And the Cardinals, you can say whatever you want about the Cardinals. You know, they're not a great football team, but they're very, very unique. They throw the ball like crazy. They are 3-4-1, but they have played some good teams close. They got the tie against the Detroit Lions. They're a decent team, and again, don't want to get too much into specifics with them, but outside of injuries, they do a lot of crazy stuff. They don't have any turnovers. They lead the NFL in the fewest turnovers that they've turned. They don't turn the ball over. So there's some things that can happen here, but they have not played anybody that has a strong defense like us. They did play Carolina, but they got beat. They played the Seattle Seahawks, but they got beat pretty good. After that, they played no tough defenses. So I really do think that great things are ahead. What happened on the extra point kick? Yeah, he just bobbled the snap. It wasn't a great snap, but Mike Wisnowski bobbled it. I'll throw a clip of it up once they release all of the what's it called? The end zone camera film and all that stuff. So anyway, guys, there's a lot of great stuff going on, and I do want to give a shout out just to a lot of people that have showed up on my Patreon. Again, the paywall stuff is a bummer, and I hate it so much. I really, really do. But here's the deal. If you head over to NinersRush.com, which somebody also asked me, hey, how do I get a hold of those t-shirts that you wear sometimes? Here's the easiest way. You go to NinersRush.com. And once you are there, you click on gear. It's going to take you to a site that has all of the different logos and different shirts. You can customize them for your daughter, your son, wife, whatever you want, whatever. If they do listen to the show, there's got to be something wrong with them. A bunch of weirdos. But that's there for you as well. And also my Patreon account, which is just $8 a month, the Frank Gore tier. And what this does is money comes into the podcast for app development, different stuff like that. And you get an extra video podcast or two a week. I've already put a quick one up. But I do just want to say lots of people are heading over there and supporting podcasts. I really do appreciate it. Again, go to NinersRush.com. Just click the Patreon link on the right side. That is there for you. But I know this is a quick one. We're going to have another one tomorrow talking about the defense and hopefully a trade or two. And trade deadline is tomorrow, Tuesday. I do expect the 49ers to make some kind of move. We got to recoup some of those picks. I hope that they make something happen. I don't think we're going to be any more on the buying end. I know there's still some A.J. Green truthers out there, but that's going to cost a first-round pick and then some. So I don't expect it to happen. CJ Beathard is definitely the most likely choice. But we will be back probably pretty close to the same time tomorrow with some more stuff. But really do appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, stay strong, faithful.